welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well, at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. What's going on, Ram fans? I think we all have a hop in our step today. I'm going to get back to this Rams-Seahawks game, provide my recap, adding a little bit more context and detail than we were able to do in our post-game reaction. Go through the game from start to finish, talk about the big plays of the game, some stats, and all that good stuff. What a game that was, man. That was electric. And for a game that, for the first two quarters, not much happening, especially from the Rams' perspective. Seattle had some good things happen at the end of the half there, but kind of a dreadful game. And then the second half and overtime, wow, that was entertaining and so happy it ended on a good note. Would have been headache city trying to sleep through the night after that game had we lost. Hey man, Matthew Stafford stepped up, didn't he? And Sarah Barshop shared this on Twitter. According to Elias, Matthew Stafford's game winner was his 13th career game-winning touchdown pass in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter or in overtime. That broke a tie with a guy named Dan Marino for the second most since the 1970 merger, trailing only Tom Brady's 14. Pretty impressive. We'll touch on injuries real quick. Rob Havenstein is out for the Monday Night Football game, but it will not be going on IR. Sean McVay still deciding whether Joseph Noteboom or Warren McClendon will get the start. I suspect it will be Noteboom. Meanwhile, the Rams have designated Jonah Jackson and Steve Avila, our two starting offensive linemen, to return this week. Seems like McVay is more confident about Jackson's return. I'm guessing he's going to get plugged in at left guard. But what do they do when Avila comes back? Hey, something we missed during our postgame reaction. Should have touched on this. The Rams defense has scored in 4 straight games. That's 2 pick sixes by rookies Jalen McCullough and Cam Kinchins, a scoop and score by Cameron Curl, and a safety against the Vikings. Not bad. Now, I'm getting this posted early Monday evening. Probably going to be a trade right after I post this, and maybe an update on Josh Wallace. It's one thing I do not know at this point. But I'm sensing the Rams are not going to do anything significant other than try to move Trey White. I think they're going to stand pat. I know there is some hope that maybe they'd improve the inside linebacker position, maybe the defensive line, but that does not appear to be the case. And, you know, that Josh Wallace injury is significant. He was starting to be a regular contributor. And consider that our cornerback group, we kind of forget we've already lost Darion Kendrick and Trey Tomlinson. Trey White has not worked out, and now Josh Wallace hurt. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but when you get carted off, not a good look, but crossing our fingers we get good news on Josh Wallace. So let me provide a recap of this game from start to finish, and it was a doozy. And actually kind of interesting, the first half, except for the last couple minutes, were pretty mundane, pretty uneventful, and actually pretty poorly played by both teams. But Seattle got the ball first. 2nd and 9 from the Rams 36, but Geno Smith is sacked by Tyler Davis and Michael Hoyt to take them out of field goal range, and they have to punt. Rams go 3 and out, 3 straight pass plays against one of the worst run defenses in the league. Coming into the game anyways. Very surprising. Or should we be surprised? Not really. Seattle's second possession, Jalen McCullough comes up with the INT, but the Rams can't do anything with the opportunity. Punt it back. Next 5 possessions, in fact, are punts. And that last Seattle punt is preceded by a drive that goes 5 plays for -9 yards. They converted a 2nd and 18, but they also had a 23-yard loss on that weird snap, low snap, bad snap, whatever you want to call it. That sets the Rams up with their first scoring opportunity, 5 plays, 43 yards, settling for a 38-yard Joshua Carty field goal. Rams up 3-0. The Seahawks answered with a 9-play, 70-yard drive. It's our old friend Tyler Lockett. Man, I'm going to have a party the day that guy retires. That was one of those plays where the Rams jumped, appeared to quit on it, confusion in the secondary. Seattle misses the extra point, though, so they're only up 6-3. The Rams have the ball with 51 seconds left now, and on 1st and 10 from the Rams 44, Stafford is intercepted, and this is the play after the play where Puka gets ejected, tack on a 15-yard penalty, and Seattle cashes it in. So in the last 51 seconds, Puka ejected Smith Njigba. JSN, yes, that's the Seattle receiver. I will refer to him as JSN henceforth. He goes for 46 yards and then a 24-yard score, and Seattle up 13-3 at halftime. Not feeling very good about the way this game is going, but the Rams get it together. Their opening drive of the second half, they go 75 yards in 11 plays. Stafford to Robinson for 21. Kyren picks up a 3rd and 1. A defensive holding sets up a 1st and goal at the Seattle 9. After pass interference committed against Kupp, the Rams are 1st and goal, and Demarcus Robinson scores easy off the play action, and it's 13-10 Seattle. Seahawks go 3 and out. Byron Young had a sack there. Rams go 62 yards on 12 plays. Big play was a 26-yard swing pass to Kyren. They had a 1st and goal at the 6 and a short pass to Davis Allen. Thought he was going to score, but down at the 1, and the Rams cannot punch it in. Settle for a 21-yard Cardi field goal, and the game is tied 13-13. And we're just getting started. Seattle's next possession, one of their most productive drives, 8 plays, 63 yards. This is the drive with the horrible pass interference call on Ahkello Witherspoon. But that 8th play, the last play of the drive, Cam Kinchins secures the interception 3 yards deep in the end zone and returns it 103 yards. And when he started out of the end zone there, I was like, no, don't do it. Take a knee. But boy, was I wrong. The big score, what a swing, and the Rams are up 20-13. We're in the 4th quarter now, another Seahawk 3 and out. But the Rams go 3 and out as well, and this is where they get the blocked punt. Seahawks get the ball at the Rams 19, but on 2nd and goal from the Rams 4, Cam Kinchins gets his 2nd INT of the game, 2nd INT of his career, in fact, and the Rams are up 20-13. And on that play, by the way, Braden Fisk might have had a little bit of a tug on the tight end there. Refs missed it. They missed a lot in this game, didn't they? But Rams were up 20-13. The teams exchange punts. Rams have a chance to run out the clock. And after Kyren's 19-yard run on 1st down, you're thinking it's in the bag, right? But it's called back, a holding call. And Seattle gets the ball back at their own 27 with 1:54 left. Rams up by 7. Geno is sacked, 14-yard loss, and we're feeling really good now. But the next play, a 28-yard gain. This is one where Witherspoon tried to make that leap to knock the ball away. An 11-yard scramble by Geno, and then a dropped interception by D-Will. Darius Williams can't hang on to it. And then on 4th and 5, Geno Smith finds JSN for 29 yards to the Rams 14, and then JSN scores the TD. Game tied, and man, how deflating was that? Thought the Rams were going to win it in regulation. Pass interference to the 41, an 8-yard pass to Tyler Johnson, and then an obvious helmet-to-helmet hit on Demarcus Robinson that would have put the Rams in field goal range. But they pick up the flag. No explanation. They pick up the flag on a clear helmet-to-helmet hit, and the Rams have to punt. So we go into overtime, and Seattle gets the ball first. They drive to the Rams 16, pass on the field goal, and it's actually a reasonable decision to go for it on 4th and 1 and try to get the touchdown, because if you kick the field goal, you're giving the Rams the ball, and they're going to be in 4-down territory all the way. Difficult offense to stop. So Seattle goes for it, and the Rams and Omar Speights get the stop, and the Rams get the ball back, and they go 83 yards in 4 plays. I think Matthew Stafford just said, enough of this. Let's get it done. Tyler Johnson for 24 yards, Tutu for 16, Kyren a 4-yard run, and then Demarcus Robinson The one-handed 39-yard TD reception, and the Rams go home with the win, their third straight win, improved to 4-4. What a game it was. So after walking through all of that, you want me to identify the fearsome 4 big plays of the game. Well, be careful what you ask for. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I came up with 8 plays, though. 8 plays that are worth mentioning that really impacted this game. Some of them maybe slipped by us, but looking back, they were indeed very important and affected the outcome for sure. The first one, I'm just going to go chronologically here. 2nd and 9 from the Rams 36 in the first quarter. Geno Smith is sacked. That sack that pushed them out of field goal range. That was a big play. Seattle was probably going to put 3 points on the board there. They kicked the field goal there. Would have impacted how the rest of this game played out for sure. Another big play. This one went the Rams' way also. Seattle misses that extra point. Another impactful play. It kind of gets lost in the noise with everything else that ensued, but Seattle goes up 7-3, and then they would have been up 14-3. Would have changed how the Rams approach their extra points later in the game. And Puka gets ejected. Now, the Rams were able to survive without him, but that was a big play. Who knows what would have happened with Puka in the game? Probably affected the Rams' run game as much as anything, actually. And then after that, rolled into one big play. JSN's 46-yard catch, and then the ensuing 24-yard score to put Seattle up 13-3 at halftime. What a horrible 51 seconds that was for the Rams. Well, the next big play, the biggest play of all, probably Seattle trying to punch it in, and Cam Kinchins secures the ball in the end zone. Byron Young got to Geno Smith's arm on that play, flutters it into the end zone, and Kinchins goes 103 yards for the score. Did that flip the script or what? And instead of being down 20-13, the Rams are up 20-13. The Rams' prospects looking a lot brighter now. The next big play, I'm going to wrap a few plays into one here. Seattle trying to score at the end of the game there. A 28-yard gain. That was a pass over Witherspoon. Then the dropped interception by D. Will, and then on 4th and 5, JSN for 28 yards, and then the score. Not a big play, but certainly a big sequence. Man, Rams needed to make one play in that sequence to end this game, and they could not get it done. And then the next big play in overtime, 4th and 1, Seattle goes for it, and the Rams D is up to it. They stuff Kenneth Walker, no gain, and the Rams have the ball. And then, of course, the final big play of the game. Matthew Stafford finds DeMarcus Robinson for 39 yards, ending the game. Lights out in Seattle, Rams 26, Seahawks 20. I'm going to comment on the coaching and the referees here, a little bit more on the refs than the coaching. I guess I'm still a little befuddled by why the Rams could not run the ball on this team. Maybe that's not a coaching issue, but the fact that they opened up this game with 3 straight passes, I'll never figure it out. And then jumping off sides and then giving up on the play. I don't know that these guys didn't know the rule. I don't know if it's just something they haven't focused on in practice, but they got to figure that out. I'll probably lay it more on the players than the coaching, but hey, only Chris Shula and his players have the answer, but they got to fix that. Now the referees, wow. I don't usually comment too much on the referees, a bad call here, a bad call there, but this was a really bad day at the office for this crew. And some of them went the Rams' way, some of them went the Seahawks' way. I'll start off with that roughing call on Stafford. Shouldn't have been a flag there. The pass interference on Akillo, shouldn't have been a flag there. They throw the flag on the hit on DeMarcus, helmet to helmet. So why do you pick it up? If you're throwing the flag in the first place, there's absolutely no reason to pick it up, no explanation. Maybe I'm missing something, but from where I'm sitting, they got that wrong. And they also had a really weak defensive holding call go against the Seahawks, gave the Rams a first down. And that ejection on Puka, really weak. And I had a pet peeve on this, a sports pet peeve, probably 2 years ago, where the referees always get the second guy in and they acknowledge it. Announcers acknowledge it. Everybody acknowledges it. They're going to get the second guy. Why not throw the flag on the first guy? Or if it is a second guy that you see come in, throw a flag, offsetting, move on. Don't throw out one of the best players in the game for a little half-punch slap in retaliation for getting shoved after the play. And another flag they did pick up, but I'm still a bit bothered by it, on Cam Kinchin's interception return for a touchdown. They threw a flag for a illegal block on Geno Smith. I think it was Jared Verse. Jared Verse is flying at him, and Geno just slides to get out of the way and goes underneath him, and the ref's staring at the play and throws a flag. Could have been one of the biggest calls of the game, would have wiped out a touchdown. Fortunately, they picked it up, but again, why is he throwing that flag? I have no idea. And the announcers, Jonathan Vilma, knows the game. He absolutely knows the game, but that was a bad look. Rams are going to be conservative here, and then bang, game over. Get through some significant stats here. Seahawks had the ball for just 43 seconds longer than the Rams, so time of possession pretty even. Rams had 2 more first downs, 22-20, so pretty even there. Total yards, the Seahawks outgained the Rams 424 to 366 yards. And we got to remember the Seahawks lost like 40 yards on bad snaps. So after considering that, pretty good day for the Seahawks offense as far as yards go. Rams rushed for just 68 yards, allowed 107 yards rushing, which is the exact number they gave up to the Vikings. Rams just 2.8 yards per rush, and they did a pretty good job slowing down Kenneth Walker as well. He only averaged 3.2 yards per carry. And then, of course, there was the 3 takeaways by the Rams, 1 takeaway by the Seahawks, and 7 sacks for the Rams defense. The Seahawks did not get to Matthew Stafford one time, not at all. 0 sacks for the Seahawks. Cooper Kupp, 11 catches, 104 yards. Demarcus Robinson, 6 for 94, 2 TDs. And then, of course, we had the 2 interceptions by Kinchins and 1 by McCullough. I wanted to close this episode out with a rookie watch, checking in on all the Ram rookies, or at least the ones that made a significant contribution to this victory. And man, there's a bunch. Let's start out with the defense. Jared Verse, he was in the Seahawk backfield all day long, finished the game with 1 sack. Braden Fisk, was this his best game? 2 sacks. Cam Kinchins in the lineup after Josh Wallace gets injured. 2 interceptions, one of them a pick six, 103 yards. Jalen McCullough had another interception along with 7 tackles. Omar Spates, limited snaps, but he was involved, critical actually, in that big 4th down stop in overtime. Tyler Davis getting more snaps in the rotation along the defensive line. He had half a sack. And Josh Wallace, even though he left the game early, had a really big pass defense in the end zone early in the game. And then on the offensive side, Justin Dedich had his hands full with Leonard Williams, did an admirable job, though. I imagine his grades are going to be a little bit low, but look at who he was going up against, right? And then Bo Limmer had another great game. We're going to get into some grades in our next episode that highlights how well Limmer has been doing. And Joshua Carty, 2 field goals, 2 PATs. He also handled kickoffs. Pretty good days of work for Joshua Carty, our rookie kicker. And which rookies did I leave off this list? Well, Blake Corum, 1 carry for -1 yard. He'll have better days. And Jordan Whittington was inactive coming back from that injury. Brennan Jackson, surprisingly inactive for this game, another draft pick. And Casey Leviston, our 7th round pick, still on IR. Overall, pretty darn good day for our rookies helping out this team. Suggests greater days ahead for our Los Angeles Rams. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. We'll talk about grades, snap counts, and then, of course, Wednesday night, our roundtable looking ahead to the Dolphins game. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.